So we got this question in the comment section, how to fetch current year and the next year using Fusion. So let's try to solve this question. We are in Fusion now. Let's try to add a module. Right click, choose module. Let's search for tools. Let's say set multiple variables. Okay, so let's add a variable where current year. Okay, now what do we need to do? We need to find the current year, right? So how do you do that? We can use a formatDate function, formatDate function. Okay, and then you need to get the current year, right? So we have something called now, which will give you the current date and time. Okay, and then once we get that, we just need to format it, right? We just need to say y. We just need to format it in y format, right? Y format. Okay, so let's try to add that. Okay, so this will give me the current year. Now let's try to test it. Run this module. Okay, you can see that the current year is 2026. Amazing, right? Now, how do we get the next year? Very simple. Just add 1 to the current year and you'll get the next year, right? So let's do that. So let's add another variable var next year, right? And then what do we need to do? Let's click add. So we can just copy this. So this is the current year, right? I'll just copy this and we might need it here. So this is my current year, but this particular output is in a string format, right? This is in a string format. We need to convert that string format to a number, right? So we have something called parseNumber, right? So let's use that function, parse number function, right? So if you see the definition of parseNumber function, you can see that the first parameter is going to be number. So we need to the first parameter is going to be number and the decimal separator, right? So this, this is 2026. We'll get 2026 in this particular function. We'll get 2026, and then what is the next parameter? We need a decimal separator, which is going to be dot, right? It's going to be dot. Okay, so this will convert 2026 into a number format. Okay, and then we just need to add 1, right? After that we can just add 1. So in order to add 1, it's very simple. Just say plus 1, right? So format date now y will give you 2026 in a string format. Parse number will convert it into a number format, and then you just need to add 1. That's what it is. Very simple. Let's click on OK there. So let's try to test it out. Run this module, see what it is. 2027, you got the next year as well. Okay.